Bit cold now, isn't it? Cold and damp. Not freezing, just cold and damp. I don't have any heating in my house, so other than the wood-burning stove here and another fire in the front room. And I love it that way. I'm not very keen on central heating. You know, people are entitled to their own choices, aren't they? I've been cleaning the Essie. I hope it looks nice and shiny. I've been cleaning it today. I'll talk about that in a second. But first, because it's cold and damp, you know, and there's a lot of people walking about with sniffles. I don't know if you've seen it, sore throats, that sort of thing. It's that season, isn't it, where people get what they call colds, or what some people refer to as a detox. And it's always good to have a detox, because it means that actually you're getting rid of all the toxins that are in the body from the environment that we're swimming in. And what better way to protect yourself from some of that than with a salt pipe? Now, you can buy salt pipes anywhere. I'm not particularly selling any brand. And so you fill it with Himalayan sea salt. You could probably fill it with Celtic sea salt. I'm told that is really just the agency to, well, I don't really know what it does, to be honest with you. But Dr. Sarah Myhill put me onto this, and she says it's kind of the agency to get things going. So you have a bit of that and some iodine, Lugol's iodine. And from what I understand, we've been doing this, Julia and I, for some time, and I don't want to drop that little pot, is you fill, or just put about 3 drops, I'm going to put 4 in because I'm over generous, in the spout of this thing. Just in the spout. You've got the salt as the carrier. That was the word I was looking for. It's the carrier. And then what you do is you stick this up your nostrils and inhale it. And it's the iodine that's carried by the Celtic sea salt, as I understand it, or Himalayan. And it goes up the passages and it kills all the bugs, you know. And if you're getting any of those sort of, or potentially likely to, then a salt pipe is the perfect thing. It's very good. And of course you've got a bit of sea salt as well in there. You have to be a bit careful that you don't put too much iodine on the actual nozzle, because you could end up with brown circles around your nose. Obviously that's not such a good thing. And you do that, I don't know, you know, several times a day. And it only takes a moment. And that's done. I've also got myself a cup of Earl Grey tea, which is rather tasty, but also very hot. So, yes, so there we are. Anyway, and I'm going from the salt pipe. Julia and I have a nickname for it, snoot pipe, because you stick it up your snoot. We go from that to smoking a pipe whilst I chat to you. And I know some people get a bit itchy about that, but now's the time to turn off if you don't like it, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you. Oh, by the way, you can tune into the pipe smoking channel on the Vobe Show, at the Vobe Show, where I smoke my pipe, often in the same position, and chat about all things. Because we were given some dried old leaves. Someone swept up from their garden. No, these are tobacco leaves that they grew, and they handed them over. And you can't see it. I don't think you can see it. But actually, above my Essie, which as you can see is going, is some tobacco, green tobacco leaves. Sorry, itchy eye, growing and now curing. At least I hope they're curing. It's an experiment to see what happens. And if you watch The English Couple, there's a few sort of sales pitches here going on. If you watch The English Couple, you'll notice that we are growing some tobacco on our land. So anyway, there's some viewing choices for you. And it's all very exciting. Later on, we do hope to grow some hemp and see some of the benefits from growing that, but that won't be till next year, as well as vegetables and as well as heritage stuff like oats. Oats apparently are very good to get some nitrogen in the ground and what have you. So heritage wheat, make some flour and all of that, build a bread oven, and all those sort of things. It'd be very exciting. I'm really much looking forward to that. And you can follow us on The English Couple if you so wish. Of course, don't feel you have to, but that's where we're doing it. Now I want to talk about the Essie because it's one of those jobs that I have to do about every 3 months, is give it a good deep clean. Now you wonder why I'm talking about cleaning the Essie on this channel. Well, as you know, I've been talking really about getting back to basics on this channel. And having a fire, you can't get more basic than cooking your food, heating your water, drying your clothes by burning logs. And this is, for me, it's a brilliant way. Now, I know that these things are quite expensive. This was I inherited it, so it was beautiful, and I've had it for about 7 years. So it was bought with inheritance money. I didn't inherit the actual thing. It was new. I've had it for 7 years, and I tried to look after it, although it is a workhorse and it does what it has to do. It also heats the home, certainly the kitchen area, which is absolutely first class, because my kitchen is north facing. And because of that, it's the coldest room in the house. And I'm only in a 2 up, 2 down terrace. I'm going to have to blame my hooter, what with all that snoot piping. It's sort of decongesting the nostrils. So excuse me about doing that. Anyway, so it's a task. It's a task. You put gloves on, and put old grubby clothes on and that sort of thing. And you get in. It's not just about cleaning the grate. No, you've got to take it apart and get inside and sweep it. The next job is to actually do the chimney. I'll do that a little bit later on, not today, obviously, because I've lit it. But it's one of those tasks. It's like shining your shoes. It's like cleaning the floor. It's like doing things around the house. And we all have to do these sort of things, different things. Everybody has different things to do. Perhaps you've got to clean out the garage. Perhaps you clean the car, those sort of things, whatever it might be. Menial tasks, I suppose people call them, don't they? But necessary. And some people can't bear it, can they? And they might get hired help in to do it. I mean, in the old days, cleaning the car was done by the kids. In the old days, the kids used to do various tasks. But nowadays, you try getting kids to do any tasks around the house, they sigh, don't they? They say, oh, do I have to? I do feel that we spoil our children so much. Getting them to break away from the screens that they're so stuck on that they can't live without. It's very tricky these days. And then if it's a menial task, I mean, kids have got it lucky, haven't they? They're staying in your house for free. Okay, they didn't ask to come into the world. Well, let's not go down that road of a conspiracy theory or, spiritual story or whatever it is. But they didn't ask to be here, and they're here. But they've got a roof over their head. They don't have to pay any fees, generally. And perhaps when they get a bit older, they do, when they're earning some money. They're fed. They're having their clothes washed and all those sort of things that you do for your children. They're protected. You keep them warm, you cool them down, you maybe run a bath for them, or at least provide hot water, all those sort of things. But kids they're spoilt. And then when you say, look, I'd like you to help around the house, do a few chores, will they ever? Of course they won't. Or they'll moan about it, or they'll put it off because they want, they're in their own heads living a life that they think they're entitled to do. Now, that's a sweeping statement. Oh, that was really good. I'm going to have another go at the old snoot pipe, just to clear out the congestion, because we do live in a toxic world, don't we, at the moment. Hopefully one day that will all go away, when more people start to see sense and we oust the powers that are pushing these things into our way. Anyway, my point I really want to try and get to is, never mind the children, never mind them and the menial tasks. All through the last 3 years, I've been saying we need to get back to self-reliance. We need to take more control of our lives. We need to be more responsible for ourselves and stop letting other people do stuff. Now, I stand by that. I mean, that's why Julia and I have got a piece of land, really. The easy way, the convenient way, is not always the best way. It's made us lazy. AI's come in, it's making our brains lazy. Our kids don't have to think anymore. AI does it all for them. They found a new god. They can just follow and program these things and create art and create music and create videos without actually having any skill or putting in the hours or anything. And you can see that the convenience of everything, the convenience of food, just over the road, you know, down in the supermarket, and bring it all back, park in one place and fill up your basket with all this cheap processed nutrient-free vitamin deficient food. And you're laughing, aren't you? You're laughing, apparently. There's something about, for me, you switch off everything. Obviously, if it's dark, keep the lights on. But you switch off your mobile phone, you get down to a task like cleaning the Essie Ironheart, and you just concentrate, you be in the moment, in that moment of doing, it may be washing up, it may be mopping the floor. I mop the floor as well. After I clean the Essie, I have to mop the floor because there's soot and dust and everything. So I do all that. But there is something rewarding in doing these menial tasks. Now, some people will just go, "Phew." I knew an ex-girlfriend of mine who lived on her own and had a dishwasher. And she washed the dish, she accrued the dishes in the week, and on the Friday she put them in the washing machine and the dishwasher, and it washed them. And when we started to go out together and she cooked a meal for me, and she said, "Oh, just stick them in the dishwasher and then we can go and sit in the front room." And I said, "What are we going to do in the front room?" "No, not like that, thank you." And she said, "Well, I'm sure there'll be something on the box." Now, I don't watch television, and I haven't done for years, and it doesn't appeal to me at all. And I thought, here's this woman who at that time, you know, meant something to me, and we are going to now defer our minds to a television. In other words, we are not going to converse together and enjoy the conversation and each other's company. We're going to sit and stare at a box in the corner of the room. So I said to her, "No, I won't put these dishes in the washing machine. I'll wash them up for you." And this was early on in our thing. And she said, "Well, you're my guest, you don't have to do that." And I said, "Yes, but I want to, because I want us to talk." And so I washed up and dried up while she sat there, and we had a chat. And we continued that every time I was over there and every time we cooked. So we would cook together and do all these things, just in the same way now that Julia and I do. We will chat and we will have these conversations about all sorts of things. Sometimes they're about nothing in particular. Sometimes they're more esoteric. Sometimes they're more philosophic. Sometimes they're so comic and nonsense, but it doesn't matter. We are engaging with one another. What we don't do is switch ourselves off and go and sit in front of the telly for the whole evening. We might have an appointment to view a programme on YouTube, you know, one of our favourites that we have subscribed to for 20 minutes or whatever it is, and we will watch that by appointment, as it were. And then it goes off. We don't sit there doom scrolling on our phones. And this, I think, is very, very important in this world that we're finding ourselves, because we're often being teased away from being in the moment, the very moment that we're living. And the very moment is always now. It is only now. The future never really comes, and the past has never really been, because there is only now. And that was only a slurp. So don't get your knickers in a twist, thank you, Mrs. Worthington. If there is a Mrs. Worthington looking, I wasn't actually specifically thinking of you. I was just, you know, saying something silly. I'm going to have another snoot pipe in a minute, because it's obviously working very well. The fire is going well, the Essie is glowing, the menial tasks are done, there is satisfaction in that, and the reward at the end of it is being able to sit here and talk to you while smoking my pipe and indulging myself and feeling good about it. And that, I think, for me, is part of what life is about. You may disagree completely. You may want to have all the fast cars and all the conveniences and all the junk food and just, you know, rush to whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And ultimately, though, you won't find it because the moment is always now, and that's all there ever is. And everything, you know, the upgrade for this and the buy this and the get this now, buy one, put one back, all those sort of things out there that try to entice you away from what life is really about. And sometimes it takes us a long time, perhaps 60 years, before we realize that actually life is about being there, being in the moment. Turning up, as a friend of mine, Father John, says, it's showing up, being there. There was a film, wasn't there, with Peter Sellers called Being There. And he was very much a man, this story, what's his name? Chauncey Gardner. He was very much in the moment. He was very much being there. We often forget to be there and be in that moment when we've got these wonderful tasks that are there to help us be in that moment. Thank you for watching. If you did, don't forget the English couple coming up on Saturday, another episode, and the pipe smoking videos that I do on the Sunday. And also, if you're interested in my book, Biggleswick, The Town That Wouldn't Comply, just email me, richard@vobes, VOBES.com, and I will tell you how you can purchase the book. And it will be winging its way to you through the postal service. Until next time, take care, enjoy your menial tasks, and be there, and I will see you on the next one. Till then, goodbye.